Welcome back here to Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora from inside of the Cafe Kubal Studios, 3501 James Street, 324 West Water Street, 401 South Salina Street, all in Syracuse, 343 Fayette Street in Manlius, New York, and on the corner of Route 11 and Taft Road at Sweetheart Corners for their North Syracuse drive-through location. We are here on this recruiting trail special spotlight with LaNorris Sellers. LaNorris coming to us from South Florence High School in Florence, South Carolina, as a 2023 incoming freshman commit to Syracuse University at the quarterback position. For those of you that have watched this show throughout the week, Monday through Friday from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. Eastern time, you know his younger brother, Jaden Sellers, who is a wide receiver for South Florence, was here with us 2025 and his first offer coming from the Syracuse Orange. So with that being said, LaNorris, how you doing today?
I'm doing good. How about you?
I'm doing good, man. And first and foremost, congratulations on everything. I don't know if you know this, but Cuse Nation is very excited about you being their future quarterback.
Yes, sir.
So you're smiling over there. How do you feel about it? Have you been feeling the love on social media?
Yes, sir. It's very exciting. A lot to take in, but I'm enjoying it.
Why did Syracuse make the most sense for you? Because, you obviously came out with a spotlight here in what you've done at South Florence, and there was different options and opportunities. So why did Syracuse feel right?
Really, the coaches, they made me comfortable. They was checking on me, texting, calling, asking me how I was and stuff like that. So that's why I feel like Syracuse was the best option for me.
Was there any other school that had reached out almost as much? I mean, was there anybody else that tried to stay in touch?
Really, App State, Virginia Tech, um, they really stayed in touch. Washington State was in touch more at the beginning, and then as you know, Virginia too.
Yeah. So you had a bunch of schools around the country besides Syracuse, Memphis, Virginia, you mentioned them, you mentioned App State, you mentioned Virginia Tech, Washington State, Georgia State, and whatnot. When you look at your recruitment, and we're looking at other teams inside of the ACC, we're looking at the American, the Sun Belt, as well as the Pac, whatever it is now, the Pac-12 or the Pac-10, having offers all over the country from a bunch of different conferences has meant what to you?
It was a lot. I was enjoying it. Like I said, felt good just seeing all the work that I put in, paying off stuff.
Did your recruitment for you happen the way that you expected? Was it different than maybe what you anticipated? Bring me into what you thought and then what it actually has been.
So really with recruiting, I really didn't know what to expect. But after I got my Washington State offer, everybody else was just other offers just start rolling in. And that's really what happened.
Now, that Washington State offer, like you said, in the beginning, they were speaking with you and then they kind of faded back. Them being the domino that helped, this kind of tray of dominoes to fall, there's positive that Washington State had in your recruitment of, like you said, once they came in, everybody else came in. But why do you feel like everything cooled off?
I think once the head coach stepped down because of the vaccine or something with that, he stepped down, and then I guess all the other coaches just stepped down and went other places and stuff.
So bring me into the trail of Syracuse. When did you start getting in touch with Syracuse? When did they kind of come in everything?
When Coach Beck and Coach Anae went up there from Virginia.
Okay. So when you have Coach Beck and Coach Anae there from Virginia, and like you said, Virginia had the offer and then Syracuse, was it almost immediate when they moved over from Virginia that you heard from them?
Yes, sir. Coach Beck, yes, sir.
Okay. And why do you feel like that relationship was so strong with those two coaches that when they left Virginia for Syracuse, they keyed in on you? Did they tell you what it was about you that made them offer you in Virginia and then again at Syracuse?
So Coach Beck and Coach Anae look for a certain type of quarterback. They call it a quarterback that really does everything. And then, so I'm guessing just from our relationship at Virginia and what they was looking for in me as a quarterback, they just took it with them to Syracuse.
Would Syracuse have ever been on your radar if not for those coaches going over? Did you know much about Syracuse beforehand?
I did not. No, sir.
Okay. So when you got the offer from Virginia, Coach Anae and Coach Beck, when they were there, how was the relationship? Like, how long had you built a relationship with them before they came over to Syracuse?
Um, Really, after they offered me in March, we was just talking like a couple times a week, couple like throughout the days and stuff. So
So when Coach Anae, when Robert Anae became the OC at Syracuse, and then Jason Beck became the quarterbacks coach over at Syracuse, when that happened, what did you think in the moment? Did you think like, oh, I might lose this offer to Virginia because I had a connection with these coaches? What was your thought process when you found out that they left Virginia?
they were just saying they'll let me know what happens and all that. So I was just staying patient with them. They was keeping me updated and stuff on what they were doing and what was going on. So I wasn't really stressing over it too much because at the end of the day, I couldn't control what happened regardless.
Did you ever hear from Virginia after they left?
I heard a couple of stuff from like the head coach and their quarterback coach did call me and stuff, saying that they were gonna come see me in the spring and all that, and they want me to come back up there. And then that was it.
So bring me into Coach Beck. I mean, this one of the new coaches to Syracuse, Jason Beck. His family has been involved on social media, reached out to Syracuse fans and whatnot immediately. His wife definitely has. So what can you say about how you would describe Jason Beck and why he's the quarterback coach that you want to be the leader for you?
He's just honest and truthful with me. His loyalty is big for him. Straightforward, somebody you can trust, and he's just there for you whenever you need him.
What can you say about his personality beyond football? How would you describe him? If there was a few words to describe Coach Beck, what would you say?
I'll say funny, outgoing, and then like straightforward, I'll say.
Okay. So Coach and I, the offensive coordinator here, what's your take on him and what can you say about your relationship with him and what you know about the offense that he wants to run? Because I know you talked about the fact that they're looking for a quarterback that does everything.
Yes, so I'll say he's honest and straightforward too. Loyalty is big with him too. And then his offense is like he runs an RPO offense with play action, shotgun, run it, throw it, really everything.
How would you describe yourself as a quarterback when you say, he's running shotgun, quarterback's running it, throwing it, RPO and whatnot? How does your game match up with what he wants to do?
Um, like you said, I could just take it and just straight run it, or I can drop back and throw it, or then RPOs, just reading defenses and stuff. So I think I could fit perfect in their offense.
LaNorris Sellers hanging out with us here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora inside of the Cafe Cubal Studios, your future quarterback at Syracuse. When I say that, when I say your future quarterback at Syracuse, what emotions do you get? What thoughts go through your mind?
Excitement.
Have you done, I know you said you didn't know a lot about Syracuse before Coach Beck and Coach and I went there and offered you, but now that they have and you've committed, have you looked into the history of the Marvin Graves and Don McPherson's and Donovan McNabb's and Eric Dungy and Ryan Nassib? Have you looked at any of that?
Yes, sir. I actually talked to Donovan McNabb before I committed.
And bring me into that conversation. What was that like? What do you have to say?
He was like, do what's best for you, do what's best for you. You'll love it up there. When I was up there, I loved it. It's a great school, it's a great place. Even if football doesn't work out, you still be able to get a good education. And then that's when I just went ahead and committed.
So bring me into the timeline of Syracuse. So they offer you, when did you go up on campus after they offered you?
They offered me as soon as you went up there, and then I went. My first time on campus was the weekend, June 23rd, the 24th through the 26th, I think.
And so you go up there for the first time. Then when did you hear from Donovan?
I heard from him. Let's see. I committed March 6th, I think. I committed March 6th. I think I heard from him the 3rd or the 4th.
Okay. So did you think that was going to happen? Did you get kind of a tip off like, hey, he might be getting in touch with you, or were you completely surprised?
So my quarterback coach and him are like good friends. Like they train quarterbacks on the East Coast and stuff. So I talked to my quarterback coach and he was like, yeah, Donovan want to talk to you. And then we just talked that night.
Bring me into, so I want to shout out for the people that don't know, shout out your quarterback coach and just what you feel like he's done for your game.
He's been there since I think going into my 8th grade year, I started training with him. And then ever since then, I just go to him once a week, twice a week, either every week or every other week. And then he just taught me all I know. He's been a big part of it, the whole thing.
What is it about your game that you think he's really keyed in on the most?
Footwork, fundamentals, timing, what to look for, when to look for it.
So for you, when you talk about 8th grade to now, where do you think you've improved the most? If you go back and look at your game yourself and really take a critical eye to it, where do you feel like you've had the largest improvement?
Fundamentals.
Okay. And how so in fundamentals? What about it more specifically?
I'm just tweaking like arm motion, arm slots, where to throw it, how to throw it, high, low, reading the defense's footwork, just stuff like that.
So your quarterback coach, friends with Donovan McNabb. So you hear from Donovan. Where were you when you got the phone call? I want you to paint the picture for everybody, because I'll tell you Donovan's story after this, but I want to know your story of where you were, what you were doing when that phone rang and you answered it, and you hear, hey, it's Donovan McNabb. You got a minute?
So my dad was in here on the phone with Coach Ramon. I was in my room, and then my dad called me around here and said, Coach Ramon want to talk to me. And then I was talking to Coach Ramon for a little while, and then that's when he told me that Donovan McNabb wanted to talk to me, and then that's when I got on the phone with him.
Oh, so they were together?
No, they was on the phone. Oh, I don't know if they were together or they was like on a 3-way call or what.
Okay.
But
So Donovan's talking to you, and what was the most lasting thing that he said to you?
he just said it was a good place all around, and even if football doesn't work out, you get a good education.
So that, in which you've said twice here, he echoed that. How important is education to you?
It's very important to me. Like, I feel like that's really the most important thing. Like, because if football don't work out, you need to have like a fallback plan, something to fall back on. And so that's just what I've been living for since middle school.
What do you want to study? Do you know?
Engineering, architecture.
Okay. All right. Where did that come from? Where's that passion come from?
In elementary school, I was in the gifted and talented program, and we had a class, and we drew like blueprints for houses and stuff. And then that's just when I fell in love with it.
So do you have a vision of what you want to do for the future? Do you want to own your own business? Do you have a company you want to work for? What are your thoughts on that?
I really don't know. I didn't get that far yet. I do know I want to do engineering and architecture though.
Okay. Do you have something that you'd love to build? Like if you had a dream of a place to work on, would you want to build an arena? What would you want to do?
Houses.
Houses? Okay.
Yes,
All right. How are the houses down? I mean, I've been to Myrtle Beach and I've been to Charleston, South Carolina. So you're in South Florence. How are the houses? What do they look like down there? What's life like down there?
It's quiet most of the time. It can get loud at certain times and stuff. Houses are kind of, I won't say packed together, good space together. Just depending on like where you stay at, it depends on like how the layout of the house is.
So for you, describing South Florence to someone who's never been there before, what would you say about your home?
I'll say like it can get busy at times, like around South Florence, food and stuff around it. It's just like, let's see how I can describe it. Driving down the road, it's just a whole area of just South Florence. Like it's the high school, then it's the career center building, and then it's the middle school. And then on the right side of it is the tennis courts, the football field, baseball field, softball field. So it's really just like one big area.
So you have that, and then around that, I want to know the best places to eat. Do you have a favorite restaurant in
Zach,
South Carolina?
Zaxby's.
Zaxby's?
Yes, sir.
I love that I asked you if you had a favorite, and I was wondering if you're going to go local, and you picked one of the chains that I absolutely love in the South, and they don't have it up here, and it drives me crazy. So every time I'm in North Carolina, South Carolina, Georgia, Florida, I always go to, I'll be in North Carolina soon, and I'll be at Zaxby's because I can't help myself. So what's your favorite thing to get at Zaxby's?
I get the wings and things with hot honey mustard wings.
Hot honey mustard? Never had
Yes,
those.
sir. Yes, sir.
Those are your favorites?
Yes, sir.
Do you get the sweet tea? You get something else?
I either get sweet tea or this mixed berry Minute Maid drink.
Mixed berry Minute Maid. All right. Okay. I can feel that. So I got to ask you about the clothes here because your jersey, like if somebody sees the jersey quick, if they look at South Florence, it looks very much like the powder blue Chargers of old. It looks like the
Yes, sir.
San Diego Chargers. Do you, I mean, what can you say about the colors of South Florence? And do you feel like that? Because if somebody takes a quick look at it, I see that like LaDainian Tomlinson type jersey.
I really like those jerseys. I like the color of them and all. The hardest thing about the jerseys is like you really can't find cleats to match the blue. So you either have to go white or maybe a black. I don't really like the black cleat stuff, so I just wear white cleats. But I really like the color of the jerseys.
So you're coming to Syracuse, and orange is obviously the dominant color. They've tried a bunch of different uniform pieces and whatnot. Obviously, when you come onto campus, you get to try it on and see what you look like in it. Bring me into the uniforms, the helmet, just what your overall feel is about the Syracuse look.
I like the navy. I like the white helmet, navy on white like they won the spring game the last season. And then I really like the orange and white too. It's just something about white pants and that color jersey with the white helmet. So that's what I really like the feel of.
Does it have anything to do with it, the look of the jerseys, or how they style it and whatnot? When you were being recruited, does that have any place in it? Kind of what you when you look in the mirror, does that hold any weight? I know some people really care about the uniform and what the look is. Did that matter to you at all?
No, sir, not really.
So the facilities side of things, that they have the Ensley Center, and that they're actually looking to build and expand currently on what they already have. And of course, they have the dome, which has been upgraded. What are your thoughts on the facilities for football at Syracuse?
I really liked it. The dome especially, like it was loud in there and there was only a couple of us in there. Like he just like yelled a couple of times and like it echoed. So I really like that. And then like the indoor facility, the Carmelo Center and all that, I really enjoyed it. The team room.
So you walk into the dome. What's the first thing you pictured when you were standing on the field?
Like all the fans.
What number are you going to wear? You're going to try wear number 5? What are you doing?
I'm gonna wear 16. I think I'm gonna try 16.
You're going to try 16? Okay.
Yes, sir.
What is the significance of 16 for you?
Really, when I got there, like they gave, well, since I was a freshman, I played varsity as a freshman. So really the last 3 options was 16, 17, and 19. So I just chose 16.
So that's a number that you've been holding on to, and so you want to continue that at Syracuse.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
So I got to speak with your brother, got to talk with Jaden about being able to play with you on varsity, and you guys have one more run to get after a South Carolina State title. What's life been like being on the field with Jaden here and you both being able to be on the varsity team together?
I'm just really excited. Like, I just know, like, we just know what each other, like, I know what he's going to do. He knows what I'm going to do or what I'm looking for. And I'm being able to tell, like, what he's doing and stuff. Like, some people might call it favoritism or something, but, like, it's really just that connection. Like, you can anticipate what he's going to do and he can anticipate what I'm going to do. But that's all it is.
Well, you know his tendencies. He knows yours. Has he in any way made you a better quarterback?
Yeah, so he was the first wide receiver really I was throwing to growing up. So, I mean, they just built on from there as we got bigger and faster. So,
what is it about his game that you think has improved? Because he spoke highly of you. He actually said, I don't know if you heard it, but he said on Wake Up Call here that when you guys would play in the backyard, you beat him every single time. So he said it, I mean, it taught him, obviously it taught him how to fight and be tough and whatnot, but he said he never won, which, has made him a better player. But how would you describe him and what can you say about him? Because he obviously gave you a lot of credit.
I give it to him. He's tough and like, I mean, let's say you can talk a little trash to him, he'll get mad. I mean, but it just seemed like when he's mad, he plays better. Like I don't know how that. I guess that like moved over from when we was little, and I used to talk trash to him, whatever, push him around, and then as he got older, it just like all came out at one time. But he's really improved a lot.
Knowing that you guys have one more run together at South Florence means what to you?
It means a lot. Last year I didn't play, didn't really get to play with him, but when we did play together, he had a couple receptions. He scored twice, I think, and so really just looking forward to this season playing with him.
And you, with the comeback, just what you can say about what you've learned about adversity.
Just not to take it for granted, really. Glad to be back working out and stuff, being able to play, being cleared and stuff. So just looking forward to the season.
And getting out there one last time, one last ride with South Florence. How would you describe yourself as a leader with everything you've been through, having the game taken away, everything you've grown to be today? How would you describe your leadership as you have one more opportunity at South Florence to lead your team?
Really just making good decisions, communicating with people, bringing them with me. If I'm doing something right, I have other people, trying to do the same thing. Just being a good role model for the people around me.
Best part of being a quarterback is what?
Let's see.
Or your favorite part?
Making plays, I guess.
That coming here from LaNorris Sellers on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora inside of the Cafe Kubal Studios. Before we jump into rapid fire, LaNorris, you said you can do it all and that you're willing to do whatever it takes. Would you rather throw a bomb downfield or would you rather run 60 or 70 yards to a touchdown? What would you rather do if you had to pick?
I'd rather throw it.
You'd rather throw it? Okay. Do you have a favorite current NFL quarterback? And if you do, who is it?
Cam Newton.
Cam Newton? Okay. Why Cam Newton? What is it about him?
Really just the similarities.
And how so? What do you think about what about your game do you feel is reminiscent of what he's done?
Being able to run it and throw it.
So you look at Cam, do you look at a guy like Lamar Jackson? Do you think his skill set is different than Cam? How do you see Lamar? Are you a fan of Lamar?
Yeah, I've seen Lamar. And Lamar's a good player too. I actually think Lamar is more athletic than Cam Newton.
Okay. All right. Fair enough. And so that coming here from LaNorris Sellers. LaNorris, I got to ask you this because Syracuse fans are going to ask me. You committed to Syracuse. That's a verbal commitment. We have time until you sign on the dotted line. How committed are you to Syracuse? And is there any chance that you would change your mind?
I don't think there's a chance I'll change my mind. Just building my relationship with Coach Beck and Coach Anae and the loyalty that's been there, I don't think I'll be looking for anywhere else.
Syracuse for you have those relationships with the two coaches. Was there anything else that just made it the right fit besides Coach Beck and Coach Anae? What else is it about Syracuse that you just felt like, hey, this place is better for me beyond those? Because I know we talked about the relationship. So beyond that, what else about the school just feels right?
All the coaches, like, when I committed, not just my position coaches or the head coach, like, communicate with me. It was like the whole coaching staff, and then it was like assistants, GAs, and stuff like that. And so I just feel like it's one just big family, and they just made me feel welcome.
I want to shout out your family here too. What can you say about home life and how would you describe your family?
They are hard on us. Like
Mhm.
school is big, um, extra workouts big, discipline. Um, all three of us play sports, so like we're always on go and resting, eating, this stuff like that.
I've heard about, like you said, they're hard on us. I heard that dad will push you to get extra workouts to get more in and whatnot. But what can you say is your favorite part of dad and your favorite part of mom?
Um, I'll say dad wants what's best for us. Like no matter what, if it's good or bad, he just wants the best for us. And mom, she just cares for us. Like she'll just love us up. Like say dad to say something or something will happen, she'll just be there to be there for us. Like just love us up or whatever.
Can we shout them out? Share it. I mean, for people that don't know their names, can we share that?
Oh, my dad's name is LaNorris Sellers and my mom's name is Cheryl Ford.
And having them in your life, like you said, they're hard on you, but how has that made you better? Not just on the field, but in general. How does their tough love make you a better person?
People say all the time that we have manager stuff like yes sir, no ma'am. That's something that they implanted us since we were little too. So that's made us a better person, doing the right things even when nobody's watching. Just stuff like that.
About to jump into rapid fire and have some fun with that. And you get to put me on the hot seat too. But I have to ask you this, quarterback wise at Syracuse, it's been a little bit of a round robin, right? There's been guys coming in and out since Dungy that we've seen a lot of different quarterbacks. We've seen the Garrett Traders, we've seen the Tommy DeVitos and the Jacoby and Morgans and so on and so forth. What are your thoughts about stepping into a team that has kind of had open season when it comes to the quarterback situation? What are your thoughts on that as you come in?
I just look at it as a opportunity to play, start off young, come in as a freshman, do what I do.
Fair enough. That coming from LaNorris Sellers. LaNorris, we're going to have some fun here in rapid fire. You're going to get to ask me 3 questions. I'm going to get to ask you 3. They could have to do with sports or not. It could be anything in the world. We're on video and audio worldwide. We have to answer these, but you get to put me on the hot seat. And LaNorris, I'm going to tell you this from almost 19 years of broadcasting. I don't know any other broadcaster or media person that's going to let you ask the questions. So I need you to enjoy this. You get to ask me the first one.
Um, how's your family?
My family's good, man. You know, my grandparents have all passed. And do you have any grandparents that are still alive?
Yeah, my grandma actually passed in 2016, and then my granddad and my grandma, they're still here.
They're still here. Yeah, I know your brother talked about your grandma and I'm sorry for your loss.
Yeah,
And your grandparents, I'll tell you to answer your question, but first to say this, make sure that when you see your grandparents, call them, go see them. When you give them a hug or a kiss, run back in the house and do it again. You will not regret giving them an extra kiss, an extra hug. And it is always a good time to go see them and talk to them. So the fact that you have them, just take this from me and put it in the back of your mind, but keep it there that you should definitely enjoy the time that you have and don't waste it. Okay.
yes, sir.
So to answer your question, my family's great. My G mama, my mom's mom, she was the last to pass. She lived to be almost 101. Awesome lady, loved Syracuse football, huge fan. She'd be all about you. She'd be like, bring them to the house. I'll make them food. She'd be cooking you meatballs and stuffed shells and all that. So fantastic family. My mom is a huge part of my heartbeat. You know, my parents, you know, growing up always commanded the best out of me, taught me manners, morals, God first. So I could tell you tough love is, you know, it does work and having morals and values and your parents not wanting you to be average and not expecting the bare minimum out of you does push you. You know, I own my own business and I'll have my 10-year anniversary on July 20th of 2022. And, that comes from being in a household where my parents wanted me to get my A's, do my extracurriculars, have fun, go out there, be a good kid, be respectful, open doors, pray to God every day, be thankful for my life. So I would say my home life is awesome. And I'm a homeowner and I have my dog, and my dog Lily is like the sweetest daughter that you could have. So my home life is good, man. I come home to a lot of love and I'm a peaceful guy. And if you know Marvel, you'll get this reference, but my home is like my sanctum sanctorum, like Doctor Strange. So when you come in my house, you have to be peaceful. There's a stress free zone thing when you walk in the door. So if you can't do it, you got to leave. So I'm a very peaceful man. So my first question for you, we were talking about food. So I want to know, between mom and dad, who cooks in the house, and what is your go-to meal at home?
So both my mom and my dad cook. Like they don't like us eating out. My go-to for my mom is spaghetti, and then my dad makes these wings. I'm not sure like exactly what flavor they are, but that's always good.
All right, so he makes his own sauce.
Something like that, maybe, or I don't know. It's something weird.
Okay, but it's good. What's your next question? What's your next question for me?
Let's see. Growing up sports, what was your favorite teams?
Favorite teams, I still have them today. So Jaguars fan since day one. Second team, Cowboys, because I grew up getting to know them a lot. They're like 90s teams, not because they were winning Super Bowls. My best friend growing up was a big fan, so I got to like know all the players on the team. But I would say Jacksonville for the NFL, Syracuse for, football and basketball growing up in like college sports. And then, obviously Marywood, my alma mater for college, in Lemoyne, and OCC and Oswego, some local places. Baseball for MLB, the Arizona Diamondbacks. And that was from the beginning, I believe, too. Raptor fan from the beginning for the NBA. I'm a Charlotte FC soccer fan who just started their first season. I'm Hispanic and Italian, so Spain and Italy for overseas soccer. And NHL, I'm the Anaheim Ducks. So I'm all over the place, man, but no Giants and Jets from me. So one of my good friends is on the Giants right now, so don't kill me, DeAndre, but yeah, they play in New Jersey anyway, so whatever. But my second one for you, LaNorris, you have such a unique name in LaNorris. What else about you would you consider unique?
I'll say I'm pretty outgoing. Like, I'll talk to you, I'll have a conversation with you. Because people all the time just be like, oh, no, you're such a good football player. I wouldn't expect you to be like so nice or just talk to any and everybody. But now I really just talk to any and everybody, have a conversation with any and everybody. So.
Oh, keep that about yourself. Humbleness is going to get you a lot farther than being conceited or having an ego. I could tell you that.
Yes, sir.
What's your last one for me?
What's your go-to show or movie for you?
Oh, boy. TV show growing up, Boy Meets World. Do you know what that is? It's on Disney.
I know Girl.
Yeah, you know Girl Meets World.
Yeah, I don't know Boy Meets World.
Yeah, so Boy Meets World came before that. So I would say, and I got to meet Topanga, who's the mom in Girl Meets World, and she was my like crush growing up as a kid, and I actually got to meet her, so that was cool. And talk to her and interview her. And so yeah, I would say Boy Meets World growing up as a TV show. Now probably The Flash, and I like a lot of Marvel stuff. My go-to movie, I don't know if I could choose a Marvel movie. I mean, I guess I could choose Spider-Man because that's my favorite character, but a movie in general, I'm a big fan of Liar Liar with Jim Carrey, Mrs. Doubtfire with Robin Williams, and Wedding Crashers with Owen Wilson and Vince Vaughn. I like comedy.
Yes, sir.
I'd say that. Okay, let's stay in the world of entertainment, and I'm going to have you set a table for me. You can have dinner with one comedian, one singer, and one actor or actress, who do you have dinner with?
So you said a singer, actor, and
And a comedian.
comedian. Let's see. Let me look up some comedians.
Okay. I got a list of them that I've seen that I'm a big fan of. There's a lot of good ones out there. I tell you, there's two that I would put on my, well, there's probably three I'd put on my list. Maybe four.
So comedian, Kevin Hart.
Good answer. He was one of mine.
Actors. Let's see.
An actor or actress.
I'll say Tom Cruise.
Okay. And a singer. I like that you're doing your research. I like that. I feel like people are like staring at the screen going, this one. So probably yelling to you right now.
Singer's kind of tough.
Singer, rapper, musician, anybody in music. What music do you listen to?
I listen to a lot of hip hop, really just on the radio. I don't really have a preference in music.
Okay. All right. If it was hip hop, who would you pick?
Hip hop. Let's see.
Having dinner with Tom Cruise, Kevin Hart, and blank.
J. Cole.
J. Cole. Okay. All right. Fair enough. So J. Cole, good. It's a good choice. I like that you took your time with it. You can just throw an answer out there. That's a nice table. That's a good table. I like that table. J. Cole, Kevin Hart, Tom Cruise. Interesting. Very unique table. So that's LaNorris Sellers here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, your future quarterback of Syracuse, incoming class of 2023 from South Florence High School in South Carolina. We're inside of the Cafe Kubal Studios. LaNorris, you get the final word. What do you want to say to Syracuse fans?
I'm excited and looking forward to it.
All right, man. I appreciate it. I look forward to talking with you very soon, and I thank you for taking the time today.
Yes, sir.